All right, this is what I have been waiting for. This is the package that I've been waiting for. Right here, inside here is something very exciting. Somebody tipped me off that on something that was for sale on eBay. This is from eBay. Thank you. You know who you are, who tipped me off, and I'm gonna open this in front of my husband right now. Luke. Luke.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, come here. This is so exciting. Right. Exciting because
I need some excitement.
We're gonna open up something here.
Okay.
This is where I want to open this, right here.
Okay, what have we got?
So somebody tipped me off on something that they saw related to your family on eBay. And then I looked at it and I thought, I have to get this. And it was a bargain. Right, so this was on eBay and the description said Hinchingbrook House, history and contents. And then it said something like, and some signature of an Alberta sandwich. Not sure what that means. And sure enough, I got it for a bargain. So Hinchingbrook, and look at, obviously I'm doing my dissertation on Alberta sandwich, right? So they said that it was in there, and I just want to see if she's written anything else. So this, do you have one of these? This was by the 8th Earl.
I do know exactly what this is.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
This is a copy of the book that used to be in every bedroom at Hinchingbrook.
But this is an original.
Which provided some of the family sandwich history and then talked about all the works of art and things that were hanging. So for example, in the hall here, we have a few pictures that we still have here. For example, the Lily of Jemima Countess of Sandwich, we still have. We've got Oliver Montague, not sure we've got him anymore. We haven't got the beach, we haven't got the Ramsay. Quite a few of these pictures have, alas, gone. The 4th Earl of Sandwich by Leotard, alas, we don't have that anymore. But there are others here that we do. Oh look, there was a Lily of Sidney Montague. I don't remember that. Oh, a couple of Van Dycks. A Titian. My goodness, there was a Titian at Hinchingbrook, but I happen to know that that's not true.
Oh.
It's Charles V, Emperor of Germany, by Titian, which would be worth a gazillion pounds. But there is the picture.
What?
Behind us. That is the picture, but it is not Titian. So despite being referred to as a Titian here, it isn't a Titian.
Right.
Anyway, this is amazing. So
Yes.
all of these books, there would have been probably 20 of them, were put in bedrooms at Hinchingbrook so that guests who came had some
I just saw some
reference and some history of the family and information on...
Look at, there's little bits of her writing in here, Alberta. So she has George Charles, born December 29th, 1874. That's who Alberta married. And she writes there the 9th Earl, because this was her book.
And then she says that she married Alberta, which of course...
He married Alberta, yeah.
Daughter of William Sturgis of New York, who was born on September the 15th, 1877.
And
there
then,
you go. That is
look
the
at,
Chicago connection.
Well, the Chicago connection is because Alberta was actually born in Chicago.
Right.
So then you have, so it looks like Alberta has written here, owners of Hinchingbrook, 1916. She's put in George Charles, the 9th, born 1874.
And then it says hostesses of Hinchingbrook, which would have been the wife of whoever the Earl was at the time.
And she's put
her name down. And so
married
if we had an equivalent...
Or taken over 1960.
If we had an equivalent book from Mapperton and it listed the hostesses, you'd have to put your name there.
I'd have to put in there.
Yeah.
But she also writes, in 1916 is when they, I guess that's the date that they came. Look at founder, William the Conqueror was founder of Hinchingbrook?
That's correct. The convent, which was established in 1070. So there were previous buildings on the same site. Anyway, everybody claims link back to William the Conqueror.
But look at Alberta's put Alberta of...
Daughter of William Sturgis of New York, 1877, 1905. So she's filled it in the hopes there's going to be a reprint of this book and that someone will put her name in. So maybe, Julie, that's over to you.
I know, but isn't that fantastic that Somebody
very good.
tipped me off, and
Somebody tipped you off. There you
this
go.
was Alberta's book.
Yeah, I'll
Her
have
Hinch-
it. Thank you. It's my present.
No, it's mine.
I've got another
I just
copy.
literally cannot
I've got
believe
my
that
copy.
that's who I'm doing my dissertation on. And there she is. Anyway, I'm very, very excited. Just because I'm doing my dissertation on Alberta, I'm really
You have this
pleased.
connection.
I have this
Of course you do.
connection. And there she is. And I always think when I come into the staircase hall, she's always looking down on me to make sure I'm okay.
I'm going to meet Julie, who is asking me to come and talk to her about her dissertation, which is going to be on my great grandmother, Alberta. I think Julie is in the dining room, and I'm going to find out more about what she's planning to research.
The dissertation is hard. I've never done one before.
What's the longest essay you've written?
Probably 5,000 words.
Well, that's quite long.
Yeah, I think that's it. And this one's 25,000, so this is 5 times as much.
25,000 words. That's roughly a quarter of a novel, because it's not as though Julie doesn't have other things to do.
I know.
I mean, it's not as though she isn't making television, reporting on the news, teaching yoga.
I know.
Teaching yoga teachers, helping at Mapperton. I'm sure I've forgotten something from the list of your hats. It's not quite as many hats as me, but it's a good few that she has.
So those of you who are new to our channel or just wondering exactly what I'm doing my master's in, I'm doing a master's in country house studies. It is actually a thing. And I think it's becoming incredibly popular. So I've done it through University of Buckingham, and we've had brilliant lectures. One of the lectures that we did have was Earl Spencer, so Princess Diana's brother, and that was fascinating. So like amazing lectures, and I've learned so much during this period. But now the lectures are over, and now I have to focus on my dissertation.
Now the rubber meets the road, and she's actually got to start writing something. 20,000 words. And the topic is?
Well, the topic is Alberta. So Alberta was Luke's great-grandmother, and she was from America, originally born in Chicago. Then her father died at age 17. Her mother remarried a wholesale grocer, Frank Leggett, and they moved to New York. What I'm really finding fascinating about Alberta is she liked to write. She wrote so many letters, and obviously people wrote letters back to her, but she liked to then take the letters, in particular those of her biological father, the one who, her father, the one who died at age 17, and her grandfather, Solomon Sturgis, and she took those letters and typed them up. So remember when the typewriter, she was at the turn of the century that the typewriter was this new invention, and so she was fantastic. So this is her.
She's actually typed this herself.
Yes, and
let me have a look.
Right, but can I just say something really quickly? She's typed this self, and when we were filming, and Stephen and Claire behind the camera here, when we were filming at Hinchingbrook, we went to Brampton Church, the Brampton Cemetery, and we went into the churchyard, and we found Alberta's stone. But also we found a very bizarre stone that said William Sturgis, May 1st, 1907 until May 1st, 1908. And we couldn't figure it out. So I've just found it, and she's documented it, and she says 1907, Holly, who was her brother, Hollister, and Jean, Holly's wife, brought us Billy, William, born March 1st, 1907, and left for India. So they brought him to Hinchingbrook
as a baby.
As a baby in September of 1907. So he was 5-6 months old. And then it's so sad, but literally the exact year later, that's why it was confusing, in 1908, Billy died suddenly, March 1st, of septic pneumonia. So
can you just show me what these are?
It's the timeline of when she was born.
So this is a diary. That's my dad's handwriting at the very top. I see. So she's writing up a timeline of her life.
Up until
1909. Is that right?
Yes. Looks like it stops there.
The last entry here, October the 17th, 1909. George, the children and I sailed to join mother at Ridgely. Now, Ridgely is a place I know, Ridgely Manor, close to Woodstock.
So New York.
In upstate New York. And to think that they would have been crossing over on a ship like the Titanic, sailing over to New York, absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah.
1909, there we go.
What's also fascinating about this is this gives me a really fantastic background of just Alberta for my dissertation, a great primary source. But you can see she was born in 1877, and then she talks about being married in 1905 to Luke's grandfather, who would eventually be the 9th Earl of Sandwich, which would make Alberta the Countess of Sandwich. So it's brilliant. But one of the things I'm going to focus on as Luke's looking through that is, interestingly enough, Alberta was a follower of Swami Vivekananda, and he was himself a teacher of Vedanta yoga. And Vedanta yoga really has roots in Hinduism, and also it's about service to others in particular. And that's before she married your grandfather. And I want to really look into what those teachings did for Alberta, and what impact they had on her throughout her life, because I know that she started to read palms. She was very much into astrology and seances and mystical powers, if you like. So I want to get into that because obviously I have a background, is in yoga, and I think there's some real similarities there.
So I'm noticing a couple of interesting things here. I mean, Swami Vivekananda, he's credited with bringing yoga to the West,
yes,
which is an amazing connection given Julie's interest and training and teaching in yoga.
It's unbelievable.
So it's astonishing to be going back 100 years and investigating yoga as it related to Alberta at that time through Vivekananda. Here's something extraordinary. So in 1905, she writes, we returned to 12 Bruton Street, and mother arrived on Christmas Eve. We had left 2 days earlier for my first visit to Hinchingbrook. Now, she was already married by then, and she'd never even been to Hinchingbrook. So she would have had no idea what she was in for at Hinchingbrook. She must have married my great-grandfather, and they'd lived in London for most of that, early time. Isn't that extraordinary?
Yeah, this one's quite sweet, and it says, when we came out, Alberta was there looking too beautiful in a green sea satin tea gown with her pearls and emeralds. A shout of delight went up. She just sat quietly and beamed on them all. She only stayed a half hour, but as Lady Evelyn said, it made all the difference, and the boys loved her. And as one soldier said on leaving, now I can write home and tell mother. I mean, isn't that just wonderful just to read that? That they had met an American countess. That's the letter I kind of wanted to read to you.
But bringing it back to you and the small amount of work that you've got ahead of you, do you think you've got enough source material?
I think I have enough source material.
Maybe too much source material.
No, my course tutor thinks I need to write a book. Can I just end on this note, though? I'm fascinated. I'm gonna have to get into this a little bit more, but I love this here. King Edward and Uncle Hinchingbrook, 1906. So there you go. There is King Edward, and right there at Hinchingbrook, the wing that was knocked down.
King Edward VII.
Yep, King Edward VII. Hi, everybody. I'm emerging from the muniment room. If you watched one of our videos before on secret places here at Mapperton, the muniment room is one of those secret places. When I first moved into this house, I had no idea what a muniment room was. And then I soon discovered that it's really the room in country houses like Mapperton where the archives are stored. So we have in there archives from the first Earl of Sandwich all the way up to Luke's grandfather. But Luke's great-grandfather was the 9th Earl of Sandwich, and he married an American heiress who came over during the Gilded Age, Alberta,
and that is who I am doing my dissertation on. Many of you know that I'm doing a master's in country house studies, and Alberta will be the basis for my dissertation. I'm unsure yet of what question I'll be answering. It is 25,000 words, but I have 2 years to figure it out. But I've gone through one folder. There are probably about 25 to 30 folders for just Alberta. She saved everything. She was fantastic at archiving. So this is a lovely, amazing photo of Alberta in 1895. So she was 23 years old here. So 23 years old here. I found that. This folder is really what I've discovered is kind of Alberta's special folder. And I found a sort of purple leather pouch here. And inside here in particular, somebody gave her some readings. It says to Alberta's baby, 1906. And there's some prayers in here. I'm discovering that Alberta was a very, very religious person. And I'm going to look more into that. But faith was definitely at the core of Alberta's life. But fast forward to something absolutely, especially for me, fascinating that I uncovered is the connection that Alberta had, of course. She was born in Chicago. She was from the Sturgis family. Her grandfather was Solomon Sturgis, and he's considered a real pioneer of Chicago and the way that it was shaped. Now, as I'm going through this, all of a sudden I come across these two, one's a drawing, one's a photo of Buckingham Fountain. I mean, this is what I grew up with in America. Buckingham Fountain is, of course, one of the most iconic landmarks in Chicago. So I was wondering, like, why does she have, photos and drawings of Buckingham Fountain? In fact, this on the end says, on the back says, Fountain in Chicago, given by Kate Sturgis Buckingham in memory of her brother Clarence Buckingham, August 26, 1927. That is when Buckingham Fountain sprung. Was finished. So as I go through the letters, I see a letter from Kate Buckingham to Alberta, and through some more research, I find out that Alberta and Kate were first cousins. So Alberta's father, William, his sister was named Lucy. Lucy Sturgis married Ebenezer Buckingham, and they had a child named Kate, also Clarence as well. And so they are first cousins, and I find this letter a month after Buckingham Fountain opens up. Even less than that, 3 weeks. Sunday, September 18th, 1927, from Kate Buckingham. She's in Massachusetts. Dear Alberta, this is the first Sunday that I have been, I think, able, for many reasons, sitting down, and she begins to write to her. One of the things she says is, please see, is from a clipping that I enclose, and I'll show you the clipping. This additional clipping, which Hollister sent to us. Hollister is Alberta's brother, but also first cousin of Kate. And it says here, all my friends have seen it and said they, in one sense, sort of they love it. But she continues on that says about the fountain, which is fantastic, that I happened to build a memorial that delivers in its appeal to reach everyone who has seen it, both rich and poor, learned and ignorant, and thankful I could complete it. I owe it all to my friend, and she names the architects who were involved in this, all the architects here. So in the Tribune, the Chicago Tribune, is this fantastic clipping that she sent along with her letter. This was September 5th, 1927, and it talks about the dedication of the fountain, marks an era in the development of Grant Park. Modifications are still to be made, etc. And then it goes down here even a little bit more about, let's see, the donor, Miss Kate Buckingham, in the course of her European travels, often said to her companions, it's a shame how many of these beautiful fountains are not running and are going to pieces. And she built it for $600,000 back then, 1927. and it took a few years to build, obviously, was so much money then. And then she gave $300,000 for its perpetual care. This is linked to the Art Institute of Chicago. There is still a Buckingham Foundation with the Art Institute. Her brother that she dedicated this to, Clarence, was a collector of art, and in particular of Egyptian art, and gave a huge collection to the Art Institute that's still on display there. Her younger sister, Maud, also was a big art collector and gave her art collection to the Art Institute. And this really, the Buckingham Fountain is part of the Art Institute as well. So it was just here, it says here, Miss Kate Buckingham, who gave the fountain as a memorial to her brother, Clarence Buckingham, to the architects Jack Lambert of Paris and Bennett Parsons and Frost in association with C.W. Ferrier of Chicago, and to another Frenchman, Marcel Loyot, whose sculptures ornament the pool. So it definitely has that sort of Versailles look about it, and that's what she was obviously looking to have featured. So this was just a brilliant find for me, and there'll be many, many more things that I'll be updating you on as I go through my dissertation over the next 2 years. But how brilliant, my first box I opened to discover this. There's just this incredible outpouring of generosity and kindness, and people who want to be involved in this project and be able to tell Alberta's story. And I think that's why she saved everything, because she herself liked to archive, and perhaps she wanted me to, and you, to tell her story as well. And I think that is kind of what gets to me and gets me that sort of lump in my throat and my eyes start to water, because it's so unbelievably moving. And yeah, so there's a part of me that's sort of sad that, you know, this is the room that I remember it always being, but then there's, of course, because change is always hard. I'm really excited because I hope that, you know, 100 years from now, whoever else is in this room says, oh yeah, do you remember Julie, who used to live here? She was my husband's great grandmother or whatever. She decorated this room with the support of so many of you. And again, whether that's financially or the research or even the support of kindness on comments that I've been getting through social media and emails, it's been incredibly touching. So I'm going to stop. I think I've just talked forever here, but everybody just say goodbye to the muniment room as you see it now, because it all starts today.
Just going to switch the camera around because I was moving these old, wonderful sort of luggage cases, if you like. And I thought this one was empty, and I opened it up, and lo and behold, a huge discovery, like massive, like big. So I can just show you where I'm at. Here's the one window for the muniment room. And there was a big sort of luggage case on here filled with papers. And all of a sudden I opened up this one. And these are more of Alberta's letters that have not been sort of archived yet. But she's done it. So this is a big pack. This is from 1905, the year that she married George. I have 1901 right here. So I'm going to be super careful with that. Hold on. There we go. 1901. And I thumbed through a few of these, and she talks about her stay in Germany. So that at I think it's Wartburg Castle. Incredible. I mean, look at this, everybody. Oh my goodness. There's so much to do. And that's not including all of her other letters that have been right there. that have been, in one sense, sort of cataloged a bit.
It is getting late here. But like I said, I want to document everything, and this is everything. So clearing off this, found this sort of padded envelope, and it says recipe book, Lady Hinchingbrook's family recipe book. Now, hear me out on this, it's actually Alberta's. And the reason I know that is because this letter was written to my father-in-law in 1977. He let somebody borrow a Hinchingbrook recipe book, and on it she writes to him, "By the way, I believe you told me that you thought that this book might have been the work of an American capital lady." Look at everybody, there are 112 recipes. I can't even get my head around this right now. It's incredible. And then she's got odds and ends like beef tea, cure for wasp stings, midge flea bites. Whoops. By the way, that was just all that we'll have to repair this. Every type, vegetables, fish, vegetables continued, sauces, meat, poultry and game, eggs and savories. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna publish this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This has just blown me away. All right, I'm looking outside, and there is a huge group of people because they're waiting for me, because I'm going to be giving a tour today, which is exciting because I want to inform sort of the people on the tour group a little bit more about Alberta Sturgis, who many of you know I'm doing my master's on. She's the subject of my master's in country house studies, and I want to start to bring her more into each of the tours here at Mapperton. The tour guide just said to me, she's excited to hear what I have to say about Alberta because she doesn't know that much about Alberta. Anyway, I better get out there. Ooh, that's the clock. That means I need to get to the tour now. I'm very into the archives, and in particular because of this lovely lady up there with the gorgeous auburn hair. This is an Ambrose McAvoy painting, and probably painted, we think, around sort of 1920, I think it was 1927 when that was painted. And her name is Alberta Sturgis. And what's rather extraordinary about Alberta is, yes, she's American. She came over during that period of Gilded Age. So between 1870 and 1910, 445 American heiresses came over and married into European aristocracy. Of the 445, 100 married into British aristocracy, and of the 100, 60 married firstborn sons, Alberta being one of them. So she eventually became the 9th Countess of Sandwich. She came over here, she was quite, I think, elderly actually during that period. She probably didn't want to be married. I think she probably wanted to become a nun or follow a path of sort of just service and singlehood. But her mother was very, very social and wanted to be accepted into European aristocracy. And so after 3 seasons, age 28, she did agree. First she said no, and then she said yes, then she said no, and then she finally said yes again to George Montagu's proposal, and they were married in July 1905. And it wasn't until 1916, when the 8th Earl of Sandwich died, that she then took on the title, the Countess of Sandwich. She was, of course, at that period, a fantastic writer. And the 3 people that she wrote to the most were her mother, her brother, and her aunt. And she wrote to them pretty much on a daily basis. And all 3 of them preceded her in death. And after their deaths, she asked for the letters that she wrote to them to be returned to her. So we have sort of this wonderful ping pong match to put together, but we have the puzzle. She was born in 1877, died in 1951, so she was 74 years old, but she did come from an incredibly wealthy family. So her grandfather, Solomon Sturgis, was unbelievably wealthy, banker, had a huge bank right in downtown Chicago, where I'm from, but it was burned in the Great Chicago Fire. However, if you've ever visited Chicago, has anybody visited Chicago? And do you know Buckingham Fountain, the great memorial Buckingham Fountain? It's one of the great her first cousin was Kate Buckingham, and her first cousin built that Buckingham Fountain in memory of her first cousin's brother, which would have been Alberta's other first cousin, and built it in memory and used Parisian architects. So for me, as a young girl, every year I'd go to downtown Chicago with my parents, and we would go to Buckingham Fountain. And through the archives, I've been able to uncover that it was her first cousin who kept writing to her saying, here's what's happening with the Buckingham Fountain works around it. So that's just my sort of little spiel about Alberta. And yeah, so hopefully we hope next year, if you come back, we'll be having an entire Alberta exhibition, because we know that there's so much more to uncover. And my last little nugget is that her mother definitely wanted her to be set up with Winston Churchill. And we have found a letter, and in that letter she writes to her mother saying, he's not pleasing to the eye. I really didn't enjoy sitting next to him at the dinner party, and it was a no-go. And further on, then we found a letter from one of her friends that wrote to Alberta, have you heard Winston is engaged? I always thought he would marry somebody of sort of social esteem and a wealthy woman, and instead he's married somebody, according to her, penniless. As many of you know who've been watching Mapperton Live YouTube channel for some time, I'm in the middle of my dissertation, and the subject is Alberta Sturgis, the 9th Countess of Sandwich. And that's part of the reason, actually it's the main reason, that I decided to make sure that this muniment room was restored. I think that this room for me is almost like a dedication to Alberta, because she was actually an archivist herself, and we did a huge fundraiser. So thank you to all of you who donated to the Alberta Research Project. So I started on a journey earlier this year to create a virtual volunteer program, because there are thousands of letters. In these files, most of this side, in fact, actually, all of this is Alberta. This entire section here is Alberta. So we had just kicked off with a huge Zoom of around 50 of us from around the world that are helping to transcribe Alberta's letters. It's incredible. And some of her letters are actually like 15 pages long. So here are the letters, and what we've been able to do just for our volunteers is to show them how we have actually sectioned them out. And you can see here, her handwriting is really difficult. So this I already know I can change. This is looks like at which there are so many applications to go that perhaps they could not procure your mother, but she's crossed out but we still keep that in, procure mother an invitation. However, the letter is charming and says she will do all she can and hopes anyway to welcome you. And this is a word that we couldn't figure out. So when we can't figure it out, we put a question mark and then our guess as to what it is. So this was just showing the virtual volunteers how we took it line by line, but actually what the virtual volunteers will be doing is they will be going back up to this page here, and they will be transcribing it in a way, not like this. This was just to help them. This was an example, but they will be transcribing them as one. Tricky, but super fun. Thousands of these letters, and I think with a group of 50 of us working together, we should be able to transcribe most of her letters. Now you're probably asking, how long is this going to take? I mean, this will take a good year, if not longer. And yeah, so you're gonna find me in here, I think throughout the next year, just giving you little updates. But if you do wanna follow along more closely to the journey of Alberta, an American just like me who married into the Montague family, do check out our sister channel, American Viscountess. Back. Despite it being the most disgusting day, I mean, I'm here at Brampton Church, which is where, well, basically the entire Montague family is buried. I've been here before, but I mean, can you believe it's summer? It's summer. While Europe's having a heat wave, we're like freezing here. So I'm walking around and I'm going to visit Alberta's and her family's stone right now. So this is, everybody, this is Luke's grandfather, and he died, you can see, in 1995, and with his sister, that's Bets. So this is Alberta's son and daughter. She had 4 children. And here we go. So it has Olga here, which is George's sister, and Alberta, Countess of Sandwich. You can see just 17th of September. And then you have George, and he died 11 years later, the 9th Earl of Sandwich. So that's the 7th Earl. I've just collected his painting, everybody. I just collected, hooray! 7th Earl's painting. I've collected Blanche's painting, hooray! Amazing. And then there's William Sturgis, everybody. Because it's raining, it's harder to see. But that is Alberta's nephew who died. And then here's the 8th Earl down here, Edward. I've collected 2 of his paintings today. And, so hard to read when it's raining. And that's Mary. That's the 7th Earl's first wife. She then died. And then he married Blanche, who seems to be over there with Alberta as well. This is the whole Montague. You can kind of see a path around it. Right over here is Alberta's. So there's Alberta, and she is buried with George. So, and I do want to come here and clean it again, but I'm gonna give it a quick little, I think, just a little clean with my hands. I mean, I might as well. I'm soaked to the bone. It's just soaked to the bone, but so wonderful for me. I don't know, I just love being here and being a part of Alberta, even though I never met her. It just feels right. Well, the church was open, and I came in here because I've stepped inside, the area where I'm surrounded by Montague coat of arms, Montague stained glass, the 8th Earl of Sandwich, Alberta's she called him Uncle Hinch. He had a lot of money, and these stained glass, these 2, this one and that one, were in memory of, erected by him, by Edward, the 8th Earl of Sandwich, and in memory of one of his brothers, Sidney, and his mother, Mary, the Countess of Sandwich, and then his father, Edward's, the 8th Earl of Sandwich's father, the 7th Earl, remarried and married Blanche. But there's also a plaque there dedicated in loving memory to George and Alberta. This is so exciting. What we're gonna do in this space, and I'm gonna tell you all about it, because for me as the American, This could be the most exciting project I have ever done here at Mapperton. So, it's so exciting. So welcome to the library, everybody, at Mapperton. And this library is filled with history. So you can see here, we've got the first Earl of Sandwich's journals. So he is the reason that we are the Sandwich family. He brought Charles II back from exile and then was given the peerage, Earl of Sandwich. We even have some of the fourth Earl of Sandwich's journals here. He's the reason that we eat the sandwich today, because he put his piece of beef between two slices of bread so he wouldn't get his political papers dirty. Anyway, moving on, there's a lot more amazing characters within the Montague family, and one of them, many of you know, I am researching right now. She is the subject for my dissertation for my master's in country house studies, and that is Alberta Sturgis Montague, the 9th Countess of Sandwich, who was an American just like me, who came over during that really popular period called the Gilded Age. Because she's the subject of my dissertation, and it's really garnered a lot of interest, she's really this unknown American heiress. We've discovered that we have the largest collection of letters, journals, diaries of our American heiress in the entire world, basically. We think approximately 12,000 letters around. I mean, that's pretty incredible. She saved everything. That this year we are going to do an exhibition. So yes, the house here at Mapperton is open to the public from the season from April 1st till the end of September. We get lots of people coming to visit and doing an entire tour of the house. But this room sometimes is open, sometimes is not. But last season we had closed off this room, and this season we're opening it up because this space is going to be the Alberta space. So I'm really, really excited. So I've been collating materials now. Obviously, she's left us with this enormous collection. Like I said, the largest American heiress collection ever. And now I've got to work out what I want to do in this space. It's going to start out as a small exhibition because it's our first time doing it. But what I'd like to do in the library is, number one, I'd like to repaint it. So I'm going to be looking at repainting it, but also we've got to be able to have sort of exhibition furniture, really, if you like, in order to showcase Alberta. And what does the public want to see? And I think in particular, the public will want to see, I know I wanted to see it, her diaries. But unfortunately, her diaries are in such a bad state. Not the writing, but the overall cover. They're really, really fragile. And so I need to show them to you. And then well, it's exciting because they're going to be repaired, but they're going to be repaired by me. So come on, let's go through here. And those of you who are new to the channel, Alberta is right up there at the very, very top, and that's an Ambrose McAvoy. He was really the society painter of that period, that, you know, what I would call the Gilded Age period, because I'm American, but of that period. And there's a beautiful McAvoy painting of Alberta up there. She had gorgeous auburn hair. So what we're walking through right now, this is the Great Hall for those of you who are new. So when you come on a tour of the house here at Mapperton, you will then be able to also go into the new exhibition space in the library all about Alberta. Heading into the library, now this is my secret door here into the muniment room. There's actually three, the muniment room is tiny, but there's actually 3 doors leading into the muniment room. Here's one from the dining room into the muniment room. Then of course there's that door straight ahead that leads into the church. And then there's that door over there that leads into sort of the back of the house. What I want to show you are some of Alberta's journals that I want to be able to display, and they will be put in a display case. Talked about that in a second. But however, they're incredibly, incredibly fragile. So this was her journal that she wrote. You can see the dates here. The first entry is April 29th, 1899. I mean, this page is completely off. It's starting to fray, well, even more than fray at the edges. And that's one diary that I'd like to put on display after it being repaired, which I'll talk to you about in a second. The other diary, again, this one was written when she was 11 years old. So if we look at this, it was started in 1887. So again, she was born in 1877. So she's 11 years old. 11 years old. And this one, you might think, well, that's in all right shape, except for the spine. So in both of these cases, we've got issues with the spine, and in this one in particular, we've got an issue with both the front and back. However, to have these repaired are extremely expensive to have them repaired. So I have been doing a lot of YouTubing myself on how to repair spines and even to repair covers. So one of the things that another hobby I've decided to take up is to learn not only how to repair spines, but also eventually I hope to learn how to bookbind. But I'm going to start with just repairing books, and because these need to be repaired, and I feel that I'm able to do that. The other item that I'd like to showcase, of course, is Alberta's recipe book, or she would have called it receipt book. And again, you can see that this needs to be repaired as well. This first page is off, but this I would like on display as well, but it needs a lot of restoration, and it probably means I will have to undo these ties here, stack them all together and put in a new piece, and also use proper conservation tape in order for me to display these after I have acquired those skills of book repair and paper restoration. I need a display case. So I need to head over to the North Stable Block right now. I have the key in order to see the state of this display case, and I am a bit worried. All right, heading to the North Stable Block. It's beautiful sunny day, but there is a chill in the air. You probably wonder why I wear fingerless gloves and hats all the time. Well, I'm still, after a couple of decades being in this country, I'm still not used to a cold house. So if the temperature needs to be cut down a little bit, I've got to warm myself up with fingerless gloves and a hat. All right, welcome to the North Stable Block. There's lots of treasures in here, but this is for now storage. This is the North Stable Block, and these used to be the old horse boxes. So where the horses, when we had horses, we never had them, but generations before us did, the old horse boxes. But now storage, and then hopefully eventually this will be a proper huge exhibition space. That's our goal, or part of it to be an exhibition space. Nice chair. Oh, speaking of, there is the display case. That's what I'm talking about. This has not been used since pre-pandemic. So, woo! Right. Now, I'm not going to be able to take it out today because it's quite heavy, but this chair, I'm definitely taking this. I'm going to restore this chair, everybody. This, you can see, is our display table. There's lots of space here. There's another half over there. It can open up quite easily. It's got lovely velvet in here. It just needs a good clean. And this is where I will be able to place Alberta's letters, but also this is where her diaries will go once I am able to restore them and conserve them. But I think this is a great starting place. It definitely needs somebody else and possibly 2 other people to help me carry it back into the library, and then I'll clean this all off myself, but it's in pretty good shape.
You okay?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
So about here, I reckon.
Yeah.
So that it gives everybody room to flow round.
Yeah, because this is going to be the main.
Let's take it about this way so it's more centered on the fireplace.
Okay.
So yeah, to about that. Yeah, that's
Yeah?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh my God,
okay,
I'm so
that's fine.
excited. I'm literally so excited. They come through.
We've got our displays in here.
Yeah.
Then what we can do is the photographs we can dress on the piano.
Yeah.
So they've then got room to come through and have a look at this.
Okay. Okay,
And then
great.
they've still got room to then see the board that we're going to have there.
Yeah.
And the board that we're going to have there. So I think maybe we do lose these two chairs. So
Okay,
that it
great.
gives us the flow.
And mannequin with the Fortuny dress goes.
Yes. I would do it probably about here.
Okay.
Well, that we can take a view on, but I
Okay.
would suggest about here. Because
All
I
right.
think it's most out of the way. Okay?
Great. So what I have here, Malcolm, is I have all of her diaries starting from 1905. When I say
Until-
diary, I would say as an American, like a daytimer.
Okay.
So in America, we refer to diary as like a journal.
Ah, okay.
see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah. So it's sort of like just like an engagement type
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. But we
Little
would
book.
call them obviously diaries in England.
yeah.
So I have one that goes back to 1905.
So that's the earliest.
Well,
you
that's
have.
the year she got married.
Ah, okay.
Isn't that just amazing?
Yeah.
So she
Well,
kind of.
that's really pretty. So let's have that. These are nice though because they're all the sort of the same. But I mean, obviously we can't display everything.
No, we can't.
But
I mean,
what
I
we
have-
could do, you know, just so that you can sort of see the years going by, let's maybe take a selection like so.
Yep.
And just fan that out. And then maybe have one of them that's open
Okay.
so that you can see, you know,
Yeah. So
what she was doing on the Friday the 6th of October 1916.
Right. Exactly. So shall we look at November 11th?
Bible class.
Here we go.
Tuesday the 19th.
Yeah. Look at this. 1945. Armistice.
Oh, right, yes,
Do you see?
yeah.
So she has that right there. Armistice. 1945.
Five. Yeah.
November 11th.
On the bottom shelf,
So-
those are all her diaries.
These are all her
Right,
diaries.
there's a lot, isn't there? Well, we can't display all.
You've got 07. That's an interesting one. That's really pretty.
Yeah, these are good because they're different, but I like those as a little collection.
Okay, 1914. 1 second, everybody. I'm sure we have it. Let's just try to, because that's, okay, here we go. 2018, I'm coming to it. 17.
Have you read through most of these or no? Not yet, no.
Because we're just getting through the letters.
Yeah.
Do you see? It's just amazing. Look at that. The Countess of Sandwich. That's 1943, but isn't that just pretty?
Yeah. So.
Do you want that one?
Yeah, that's good. Let's take that.
Okay, wait. Then they're all in there. There's
Yeah,
she's
well-
got a lot of them.
Yeah.
So these are, it's 1940. Look at this. Okay, hold on. 42. She's got, so some years are
I just wondered whether or not, if you had read through it, say maybe this one, which has got a lot through it,
well, I'm trying to look at
if
years.
there was sort of
that.
some, I mean, obviously this is too difficult to read.
Yeah,
If there
I
was
know.
something that one could have, open a page and then have something transcribed.
I do.
Oh, you do? Brilliant.
So
okay.
I do have, but look at this. So this is, it says S on 1938. She still has her appointment cards in here.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that, but I'm not going to get this out, but I just think it's, every time I pull in here, see what that would have been something important.
Oh, right.
Look at Countess of Sandwich.
Christopher Wood paintings. Here we go. Let's look at 36 and 37 here. Yeah?
Yep, that's...
So that was December. Wow. Around this time.
No comment at all. Or, I can't even read it with my glasses
I
on.
can. Hold on. Hold on here. Here we go. Abdication. Look at this. Baldwin in the House of Commons announces the story of the...
Abdication.
I think it's abdication. So, no, and the king's abdication, sorry. Announces the story of the, we'll have to read that. I can't read it because I'm not in light. And the king's abdication.
Right, okay.
So that's
well,
December 10th. Yeah?
Yeah.
The king broadcast his farewell. Very moving, very simple.
all right,
Isn't this
okay.
great?
Yeah. Well, let's try and find some things like that that are,
Let's do that one.
comment on,
Then,
history that people are aware of.
well, exactly. So then you've got sort of May. Here we go. We've got, now it'd be interesting. Here we go. Luncheon party, Buckingham Palace. Look at this. So she's at the coronation. So you've
Brilliant.
got for coronation reserved, wonderful seats near. Looks like
third row.
George, near George the King. So they were near George the King. Third row, peers. So it would have been the peers. Met General Sir. Looks like Eric Gurwood. So she lists, so they were there. So now arrived coronation, state guard, banquet. How great is this?
That's brilliant. So why don't we do that? And then don't we have the invitation to the coronation at somewhere?
So what we have is we don't have hers, we have her son's. So we've got Vic, we can put that out, of course.
Yes.
Welcome to the Muniment Room, everybody, which has been completely transformed, not just because of the beautiful paint colors on the walls and inside the bookcases and around the woodwork that was, of course, hand-selected by genius Malcolm. But it's being transformed because this is where the Gilded Age American Heiress exhibition with AI, that's right, we bring Alberta, in one sense, back to life in her own words, because she's able to answer a lot of questions due to the hard work that the Alberta Research Project volunteers across the US, Canada, and UK have been painstakingly transcribing many hundreds, and we're now starting to get into the thousands of her letters. It is considered the largest American heiress collection ever. And so I just want to say a huge thank you to all the transcribers. They're amazing. They're on one of the boards because they're really bringing Alberta to life. And because of them, we're able to input their transcribed letters into an AI, what we're calling an Alberta AI, and she can answer questions. It's just amazing. So Malcolm, and he's come down today, and we're going to be curating the exhibition together. So if you are interested in having the exhibition come straight to your doorstep, it'll be hosted by me. Do check out buymeacoffee.com/Julie J. Montague. You can still contribute to my research, to the Alberta Research Project, to the archiving materials that we need, and of course to this exhibition. Details down below, and you'll be sent a link of the tour before it even opens up to the public.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, that little hole that I've made,
Yeah.
got it even with my glasses and I can't see it.
There,
we
you got
go.
it? Right, so everybody, we're hanging this by fishing wire.
Right, I'm going to have to take my gloves off to do this. I just
Yeah,
when I'm
no.
hanging, I don't want to get the boards dirty.
Okay.
So let's just, hang on, so I'll do a reef knot.
Ooh, a reef knot.
Look at you, clever clog.
So left over right
Yeah.
and under.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I saw it.
Did you?
It's hard. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Have I
There,
got it?
there it is. Yeah, got it.
Okay. And then to the top, and then the other way around. Oh God, I can't even see it.
Here, should I hold that? You've got it.
Yeah, can you hold that just to? Thank you.
There we go.
It's so fine, this wire, and I'm as blind as a bat.
You're not. You've got your glasses on.
I know, but even with my glasses on, I can't see it.
Do you want light on it?
No, I think I'm getting there.
Everybody, we've got to do like
We've got
poor
to do
Malcolm,
10 of these.
10 of these. Okay.
I think I'm there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see it coming through. Grab it.
Got
Great.
it.
Got it. Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
That's
nice.
one done. So,
This is
what we're going to have to do...
number 3, so that's going in the far one.
Is it? Right, okay.
Inside these boxes are the hat stands, which I'm so excited, and I just want to say a huge thank you to so many of you who kindly and generously donated to this exhibition, the Gilded Age American Heiress exhibition. Because of your kind donations, I've been able to get proper equipment through Preservation Equipment. This goes on there. We have that. Okay, so I'm gonna put Alberta's hat on first. It does have lots of moth holes, but remember, I cleaned it. So if you watched one of our previous videos, you saw me cleaning this and it looks much better. So I'm quite pleased with that. And yeah, I mean, I might give it a little bit more of a clean with the dry sponge. Okay, what do you need me to hold, Malcolm?
Nothing at the minute. I'm just doing a bit of measuring at the moment.
That ceiling, what do you think of that ceiling now that you're high up there?
Nice and clean.
Does it look, do you hear that? Nice and clean, because that was 12 hours of hard work, really sore neck, but worth it because the Georgian Rococo ceiling, how good does it look?
Gorgeous.
There you go.
Can you pass me that little Bradley thing? I just
Yes.
need to make a little...
By the way, this is one of the many tools that I have from the donations for the muniment room and archiving supplies. And you're using it, Malcolm, just to put in a very fine, it's really for bookbinding, which is another one of my favorite things to do now these days. So he's putting just a fine sort of really pin hole in there, and then we're putting little hooks, which then will allow us to hang these boards. And what's great is that this will probably, for the time being, even for next season, be the space where we do hold other exhibitions.
Now, can you tell me, is
Yep.
that about the right sort of height, do you reckon?
I'm going back here.
Do you think everybody will be able to read that? Lower, higher?
Hold on. I would, Chris, what do you think? A little bit lower?
Right, okay, well that's
Yeah,
important.
maybe I would go there,
Okay.
to be honest. Do you want me to hold that?
Yes, can you hold
on.
that? Sorry,
Hold on.
can you get underneath?
Okay.
Can you manage?
Yeah,
Right, brilliant,
yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. Is this like bad luck for me? Isn't it bad luck if you go underneath a ladder?
Yeah, you're doomed for the rest of your life.
I think I'm gonna be doomed for, oh my God, I'm trying to do something good. Now I'm gonna be doomed.
Right, okay,
Okay.
so, let go.
Okay. Okay. I let go.
Level.
Wow, look at you, clever clog. Looks level to me.
You agree,
Wow.
Chris? Are we level? Can I tie?
I mean,
Do you want me to come, or do you want me
No,
to?
I've got
Oh,
to
you
hold
can't.
it. I've got
Okay,
to,
I would say pull it a little bit, pull up. Yeah. Your bit. Yeah, okay. Okay, Chris, that's better, isn't it? Slightly, just a little bit less? Okay. Ooh, no. No, wait, hold on. Like, hold on. I think that's good. That's good. That's
Okay,
good. That's good.
right, okay,
That's
I'm
good.
gonna tie.
Do you want me to hold?
Yes, please.
I know, a little bit on the left, but
Yeah,
like
but
that's.
I can't get that. It's too difficult with that fine wire to be able to get it
Looks so good.
that level with tying the knot. But I think that's good enough.
I think that is good enough. I mean, Chris, what do you think?
Our big difficulty is going to get all of these at the same level.
Stay tuned, everybody. Whoa. Okay, it looks really good, everybody. It looks so good.
Next board.
Okay, next board. Oh, I think I've opened it on that side.
On the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you looked at all these
Yeah,
boards?
yeah. Checked them all
Okay.
out. Ooh, it's good, everybody. Let's hang.
So this portrait, I think we're
Is-
going to hang here.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think at about that height.
And if you come on the tour, you're going to find out why that portrait is very, very important. So what we're doing here, this is Malcolm's idea, it's a really good idea, is to put a lot of sort of Alberta's pictures around here in her family. And I found these, I think they're fine. I found them on Etsy. So, you know, we wanted to mix and match. So Malcolm's just gonna take the frames. I'm gonna give him the ones and set them up. And then what we have here, everybody, is a range of her photos that we might not use all of these, but from the original, they've come out really nicely, haven't they?
Yeah, they look good.
From the original, okay.
Right, we need to put the backs in there, don't
Yeah, we need to put the backs in that. I'll do that while you arrange.
we? Okay.
So I do that. Wow, looking good. Here, I'll give you the ones that have, that's got a back. That doesn't. These don't. That doesn't. This, interesting, does. And that one does. So let's move these. Okay. Right. So we're going to set these up. And then we're going to start to fill up the exhibition boxes with the diaries, the letters, and all of that. Okay, everybody, this is the main display cabinet here, and we're going to start to fill that. But you see, it's got lovely red velvet here. We're going to put in a range of Alberta's, I mean, she has every year, diary, but also, I think quite important are those abdication dates in December 1936 of, well, King Edward VIII, and then the coronation the following year in May 1937, and we now know that she went to the coronation of King George VI. But we also have these portable, they're great, they're portable display boxes, and from here, and again, these were all from the support of so many of you, and they're really, really fantastic. So it comes off. Here, I'm going to carefully put this here. And I'm just going to get it set up because what we have is we have a ledge. Let me just bring this over. And then this folds, sorry. So we have this and it folds down. You put this in, it's quite clever. That, this, there we go, little just bits of, don't worry everybody, it's okay because, let's flip it around. And we have a pillow. So this fits in nicely, and then this is to protect those journals, diaries, and letters that we'll be displaying as well. You see, oh, it's a beautiful thing. And then the display case goes on top of there. So we're just right now curating what goes in what. So this is the layout. Now I've got to put the photos in here, and then a little blurb.
Yeah, saying who it is.
On saying who it is.
Yeah. Is that okay?
And can I just ask you a question? So this is just Alberta Sturgis on her wedding day, 1905.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Alberta Montague with Victor. Do I put firstborn son?
Yes.
Or do you put with
her firstborn.
her firstborn Victor Montague?
Yeah.
Victor, I'll just do Victor.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we are gonna look at the Fortuny dress. Now, this is a room you've never seen before, but you're seeing it now. Because we need these ropes. So we need these ropes. We probably don't need all of them, but to guard, if you like, the Fortuny dress. The mannequin's arriving tomorrow, and it has been literally properly handmade, and which is great. So it's a proper preservation mannequin. And here's this, Malcolm. And I'll go run up and get the Fortuny dress. I have basically been inside this house all day today and probably have done 15,000 steps in the house. So again, the ropes that we're using downstairs are the same ropes because now we're properly open to the public. The same ropes that we use here. This is the private part of the house. There's ropes in the great chamber with that magnificent pendant ceiling. And this room is, for the time being, closed to the public, but it's where, for now, I've been housing those Georgian dresses. So they're in here. Now we have this gorgeous Fortuny dress. That's my moth. So I'm going to carefully bring this down in the acid-free paper, just so we can see it. Okay. And there we go. Right. All right. Back to the library we go. This, everybody, once the mannequin arrives, this is where the Fortuny dress will be. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Look all right?
Yeah, it does. Just stay there.
Color good on me?
Excellent. I mean, it really looks nice. Isn't it just gorgeous?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that'll be wonderful here because I think that'll be a nice thing as you come in from the door and you see it right in the middle of the exhibition. Do you know what I mean?
I
It'll
agree.
be the main focal point as you come in.
I agree.
Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, now we're going to start to put bits and pieces
in our
the
cabinets.
display cabinets. Exactly.
Okay.
This was clearly before she was Alberta Sandwich, so you can kind of date this, that this was prior to 1916 when she ascended as the Countess of Sandwich. And it would have been, you know, a box that was sort of stored, you know, documents or whatever. It's been a little bit damaged, but lovely on the inside here. So where do we want to put this?
Well, in here.
Yep.
Just try there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can see, and it's been
Yeah, exactly.
Alberta Montague.
Yeah, you want to see the name.
Want to see the name?
Is that all right?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
lovely. And then
Good, and then
that
the
was
other
her
one
letter
here.
box. That
Yeah.
can stay there.
Yeah. Okay.
And we also, this can go in the display cabinet. So this is the wedding present, the silver
Yeah, that would look
cigarette.
better in there. I think.
Exactly. So is there anything
Okay.
else we want to put?
Yeah, well, we will, but let's get that set
Okay.
up first.
Okay, should we close this?
Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
that.
And you're happy with that there?
For the minute.
Okay,
We might change our minds about it.
okay.
Okay.
Yep. I'm just putting bits under here. Now, what we have is exactly,
Now, you had her Bible, didn't you?
I have her Bible that she
And this was the present she...
gave to George
As
in
a wedding.
1905 as a wedding present.
Okay.
I have her Bible that she carried while she was walking down the aisle, which is
Right.
also in that photograph
Okay.
there. That's that.
Yeah,
But do you want to take it out?
possibly.
Yeah. There you go. This is the prayer book I carried at my marriage with George, Alberta. Lovely. So it's a prayer book, not a Bible. Now,
Good if we could hold that open.
I think I have something for those.
Okay, good.
So I will
Okay.
go check. And we've got little numbers here. I need to
Yes.
go get A, B, C, D,
Yeah,
E.
okay.
Okay,
Good.
let me go
Yeah.
get that. We also have her, which I think would, her certificate of marriage. Or sorry, we also have the invitation
To her wedding.
to her wedding.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Right, the boxes have arrived, so has the acid-free paper, and I am going to start to package, if you like, all of these exquisite dresses that we found, and I kind of have them all over the place, everybody, because there's a lot of dresses. But what's really exciting is this, we thought, and we do think was Alberta's, and I was thinking of using this robe, if you like, or coat even, for the Alberta exhibition. So the American Heiress exhibition that we're putting on that's opening soon. However, everybody, and this is beyond exciting because yes, of course, I really do like this gown, this robe, this coat, whatever you want to call it, but it needs quite a bit of repair. And so I was worried about putting it onto the mannequin. And then I came across this dress. Now, it's here right now. I'm not going to package it up. This, let me tell you, everybody, is exquisite. And we believe, and we feel 99.9% certain that this dress would have been bought by Alberta in Venice, where she went on her honeymoon. It's a Fortuny dress, and I've decided that this is the dress that I'm going to put on display for the American Heiress exhibition. Now I'm going to carefully, everybody, put this up, and you can see it's in really good condition. It's absolutely exquisite. Now, couple things I want to share with you all is, if you're wondering, Fortuny, of course there was that excitement around the Georgian dresses, which is brilliant, but there should be equally the same amount of excitement around a Fortuny dress. So
Fortuny dresses are absolutely exquisite, everybody. So Fortuny was founded by Mariano Fortuny, and he was born in Granada, then moved to Paris for his formative years, and then eventually to Venice. He's obviously an artist, and you can actually see the Museum of Fortuny today.
For me, it's really exciting because as I'm in the middle of researching Alberta, not only for my dissertation in Country House Studies, but also getting ready for the Gilded Age American Heiress exhibition, she and George traveled to Venice on their honeymoon in 1905. So they were married July 25th, 1905, and then shortly thereafter, they made their way to Venice. And I've just come across a letter where she describes what she bought in Venice.
She says, life is very full indeed of every sweetness. We've been to several curiosity shops and found a few charming chairs, 5 17th century Venetian chairs. And then she writes, covered with old silk. And then she writes, we've bought a bit of old velvet for 2 cushions and a piece of brocade, quite beautiful, you will think.
So obviously I am very excited to put this Fortuny dress on display, perfect for the Gilded Age American Heiress exhibition. These pretty much are ready to go in their acid-free boxes, but I want to work on the Georgian dresses because I think that's going to take me quite a long time to actually put them in their acid-free paper and then in the acid-free boxes. So I'm going to be spending the day doing that in the other room. Okay, everybody, it's been quite a day. So the mannequin for Alberta's Fortuny dress. Where this is going is it's going here behind this rope. The mannequin will be placed there. I'll put the Fortuny dress there. Now, what I've decided to do was also, this is the dress that Faith wore. Here it comes, and I had packaged this up when I was packaging up those 18th century dresses. This is the dress that Faith wore when she was being painted by Ambrose McAvoy, and I have found also, so Faith, remember, was Alberta's daughter, her 3rd child. I have found Drogo and Victor. Victor was born first, then Drogo, then Faith, and then Betts, but I have found Victor and Drogo's tunics that they wore for the painting, which is over there. Now again, that is just a copy. The original painting of the children were just 3 of them, Victor, Drogo, and Faith. And unfortunately, that painting was destroyed in a fire. And so when it was repainted, they decided to add in Faith, the youngest. So Faith wasn't originally in the sitting. Now she was around during that period, but she was probably too young to be sat all day or however long it took back then. I think quite a long time for her portrait to be done. So because she was born in 1917 and this portrait was painted, the original, in 1919. So she would have only been 2. So I suspect that was the reason why. But I have another small mannequin arriving, a child's mannequin, and that will go over in the corner by the painting and by the 2 tunics. So let's get this mannequin up. I'm going to be very careful with this, obviously. So, everybody, here is the Fortuny dress. It's pretty spectacular, and it's in actually really, really good condition. Like, it is in fantastic condition. So, I'm just gonna be super careful and I'm gonna put that right there for the second. Right, so I think this is the right height, shoulder to shoulder. Same with me. And
yeah, I'm gonna put the dress on now, but it's a beautiful mannequin. So I just wanna say a huge thank you to all of you who donated through buymeacoffee.com/Julie J. Montague, because I was able to purchase a proper mannequin for Alberta's Fortuny dress. And this was handmade. I ordered this months ago, handmade, delivered today. I ordered it through Preservation Equipment, and it's the same conservation supply company that the Royal Collection uses. In fact, lots of museums, big museums, the V&A, etc., use Preservation Equipment, and it has that sort of approved by stamp of approval from His Majesty the King. So I'm going to put the Fortuny dress on now. I'm so excited that the exhibition is nearly ready. And what I'm doing now is just creating labels so that when the public comes in, they will need to know, well, okay, what is this hat? And this is the Countess's hat. So this was a hat of Alberta Montague, 9th Countess of Sandwich. And then we've got the Earl's hat, hat of George Montague, 9th Earl. And then for things like William Sturgis, son of Solomon Sturgis, we talk about the American origins and really the wealth of the Sturgis dynasty, if you like. So husband to Betty McLeod and father to Alberta. And then next to William is Betty. And then this one is Alberta and George's children. So this is all of them, Drogo in order, Drogo, Betty, Victor, and Faith. And then I've done these here as well, apart from this one. I needed to look at what this one was, and I figured it out. So this was, I had to go back in the archive. Alberta was amazing at documenting on the back of photographs. And so these are copies of the originals. And this one was April 10th, 1905. So she still hadn't said yes to George. So isn't that interesting? And if I look close enough, I can see that these two portraits here were taken at the same time. She's wearing the exact same dress. So I do know that this was weeks before really kind of she said yes to George. So that to me was another mystery solved. But I can look at the dress, and then I looked on the back of this one. So that's kind of exciting that these were taken at the same sitting. And yeah, so it's nearly there, everybody. Still lots to do as far as more labels over for the display cases here, but I'm getting on that right now. And I think I might listen while I do that to like some Gilded Age music just to get me excited. Well, the exhibition is complete. I have labeled everything. Mannequins are up. Literally, it's ready to open to the public. But there was one bit that I wanted to share with you, which is one of a kind. And I think we are one of the first historic houses to do something like this. You may or may not know, but we have the largest private collection of American heiress letters, diaries, and journals. And her handwriting, Alberta's handwriting, is really difficult to read, as you can even see from some of the bits that we have on display. So over a year ago, I embarked on a big mission to create a virtual volunteer network. And there are 30 virtual volunteers who are transcribing these thousands of letters, and each letter has an average of 6 pages. So we're looking between 6,000 to 72,000 pages to transcribe. That includes her diaries and her journals as well. And throughout this process of transcribing, Luke has been able to upload the transcribed letters into our own personal and private Alberta AI. So
When people come in to tour it, they will be able to ask Alberta herself a question. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Hi, Alberta. I was just wondering what it was like for you as an American leaving your home country and marrying into the aristocracy and spending the rest of your life here in England. What was that like for you?
Leaving my beloved homeland for England was indeed a transformative experience. Born into the bustling modernity of America during the Gilded Age, I was accustomed to the comforts and conveniences of a society buoyed by rapid industrial growth and prosperity. My move to England, and into the aristocracy at that, was driven by a complex interplay of love, necessity, and societal expectations. Marrying into the British aristocracy wasn't merely a change of address. It was a step into a world where the expectations were as rigid as they were ancient. The grandeur of English stately homes could hardly mask their often cold and unwelcoming interiors, a stark contrast to the bright and modern comforts of my American home. Yet this transition was also imbued with a sense of duty and purpose. Marriages like mine often carried with them the weight of financial salvation for British noble families, burdened by the upkeep of their expansive but deteriorating estates. For me, there was also the personal journey from independence to interdependence. I grappled with not just a new family and social obligations, but a new country. Despite these challenges, my affection for George grew, rooted in a partnership that blended respect, admiration, and eventually deep love, as reflected in my writings and letters shared over the years. Such a transition wasn't without its trials, but it was a path that led to a life rich in experiences and imbued with a sense of contributing to something larger than myself.
I mean, that is pretty impressive, I have to say. So pretty impressive that we have been able to extract these answers, and there are even more details that we've been able to I guess, conjure out from the letters and really from Alberta herself. So if you're interested, again, in having more of this and listening to more of these answers, do check out buymeacoffee.com/Julie J. Montague, because in the tour that I'll be sending you for 3 cups of coffee or more, I will be asking more detailed questions of Alberta, and you'll be able to hear her answer. It's pretty exceptional, and some of the answers that she's already given have made the hairs on my arms stand up. But I feel even bizarrely a deeper bond to Alberta hearing her speak to me, which I think is just absolutely riveting and astonishing. So, gosh, well, a couple more days and we open to the public. And I can't wait for the public and for all of you who will be donating to Buy Me a Coffee to experience this virtual tour and to hear many more of Alberta's answers to the questions that I give to her. So everybody, and Luke, we have been having this exhibition open now for a week, and it is, I mean, unbelievable. People are signing up, people are booking tickets,
Can I just interrupt you and congratulate Julie again on the most amazing exhibition on my great-grandmother. I mean, it is just brilliant. You have done such an amazing job with the interpretation panels, with gathering all the photos, all of the things from here, all that you know. And
in the coach house, Chris just helped me put up this big banner. It's arrived, everybody. The American Heiress cutting edge AI technology exhibition banner. And I created this, and interesting, I'm just gonna say one thing, is now that I've curated the exhibition, I now have a newfound appreciation and respect for any curator who has to make A1 poster boards with limited amount of text. You've got to put all the photos together. I mean, each of those boards took me 8 hours, and this one, not quite as long, but probably about 4 hours. So these things, every time I see any type of, like I said, going into the V&A or the British Museum and I'm in an exhibition, I'm literally going to read every single word on every poster board because I know how long it took. So this is to hopefully, wow. Okay, okay. Oh gosh. Okay. How's it going? Whoop, whoop. Okay.
Look at that.
Okay, now, the question is, where do I'm not tall enough. But okay, Chris is gonna do it. Okay, hold on. Here, hold on. Okay, but you've got to put your feet there.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, wait, I got to get around here. 1 second. Everybody, whoa. Okay, good. I'm the camera woman. This is amazing. Okay. Look at that. Oh my gosh, how did you do that? That is so good. That is so cool. It's kind of fun being behind the camera. Groundbreaking AI brings history to life. Visit today. I wanted to put this text in so people can sit here and read it. And then I wanted to give a little bit about her life so that people know that when they go into the exhibition, they will, not only find this out, but loads and loads more. Isn't she beautiful there? So loads and loads more. So originally I had this paragraph at the bottom, and this was moved up, but Luke and I thought it's really important for people to read this, and then they're gonna be like, wow, we definitely want to see this. So it's gonna go here. And if people wanna go around to the other side of the shop, they're gonna go through here and they'll be able to hear. I'm just so pleased. The feedback that we've had from all of the tour guides that are taking people through has been absolutely tremendous. So word is really starting to get out. I mean, a weekend and we're getting tickets, but so many of you from the last video asked, how did we do this? And so I brought in the expert, like how did we create this groundbreaking technology, custom, American Countess AI?
The matter of marrying George Montagu was indeed fraught with complexities. In the early months of 1905, I was quite uncertain. In March of that year, I expressed my reservations, noting that while I liked George more than anyone else, I believed mutual love to be the foundation of marriage.
Can I just stop you there again?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to keep stopping Julie today. Because I set you up there. I congratulated you on your amazing exhibition.
Did I volley it back?
And that was the cue for you to say, Luke, you were a big part of this too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't. She didn't pick up on that.
I know, he was a big part.
Okay.
You were a big part. So you're going to explain to everybody how we were able to create this.
My role in this has been very small, but it's been very important.
No, it's been very
it's
important.
fine. I get it. It's okay. It's all okay.
So you're going to explain to everybody how you created this, because I don't even understand it, actually. It's genius. I mean, it makes my hair stand up.
It's not really my genius. But once upon a time, I used to work in tech a little bit. And so there are a few things that I've picked up over the years. But fortunately, in this case, what we did was something that piggybacked this amazing new system that you'll all have heard about called ChatGPT. And when that came out, it meant that we could suddenly ask questions of this chatbot and get back these extraordinarily rich and coherent answers. And then there was a new system that was added to this called Custom GPT. And essentially what we've done with Alberta is to create what's called a custom GBT, and this has really brought Alberta back to life. What's so extraordinary about it is that sometimes we're sort of talking to her and it just sounds like her intonation, the accent to me, but also of course all the knowledge that she has. So the way we've done this is to piggyback the power of ChatGPT, but also add in our own content. And that content has come from your Alberta research project.
Yeah.
We've got all these wonderful volunteers helping Julie with the transcription of 10,000 letters. We've only done about 1,000 so far, but we've uploaded all of this material into this custom GPT, the virtual Alberta, and that has really brought her back to life. There's a few other little bits, extra lines of instruction and, clever bits of tech that we've added in there, and we won't talk about those because those are, completely proprietary and
Exactly.
only Mapperton knows how to do this.
Yeah, and we're the only historic house doing this.
But yeah, so and it's just worked beyond our expectations.
It has.
So what
It
we
has.
have now,
It
when
really
you
has.
come on the tour, you come in here, you get time to look at the letters, look at the photographs,
Go through
learn about Alberta through the different panels.
Yeah.
All of this you'll get on your virtual tour.
Seeing some of her photographs, and of course the hat she wore, her Fortuny dress, but
And we have Alberta reincarnated as an iPad.
And some instructions on how to use it.
So the tour guides give their tour, the first part of the tour, and then they come to the end point of the tour, and this is really the main event. It's the point at which Alberta is brought back to life.
it's crazy,
And
you
so
guys. It's
what
so crazy.
What we can do here with the iPad is we launch our custom GPT, and then we have the opportunity to ask Alberta a question. So let's do that now. Hi Alberta, fantastic that you've joined us today. I'm here with Julie, my wife. This is Luke, your great-grandson, and we're so delighted that Julie's been able to put on this exhibition about your life, and we hope you appreciate that as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your time at Hinchingbrook? Did you enjoy coming over from America and taking on this great estate?
Hello, Luke and Julie. It is truly heartwarming to know you are keeping the story of my life and the legacy of our family vibrant and alive through this wonderful exhibition. My transition from America to Hinchingbrook was a journey of both excitement and profound adjustment. Leaving behind the bustling life of America for England's historic grandeur was no small change. Hinchingbrook, with its deep historical roots and architectural beauty, was indeed awe-inspiring, but it also demanded much from me. Embracing this grand estate as my new home involved not only adapting to a new culture, but also taking on the responsibilities that came with it. The estate was a center of social and charitable activities, which I found deeply fulfilling. I threw myself into these duties with zeal, supporting local charities and immersing myself in the arts and history of our family. Despite the challenges, such as the cold, drafty rooms in the vast mansion, there was a certain charm and a sense of duty that came with being the Lady of Hinchingbrook. The beauty of the gardens, the historical significance of every room, and the opportunity to host gatherings that could influence and support our community offered a profound sense of purpose. Thank you, Luke and Julie, for celebrating this part of our family history. Your engagement with my past fills me with great pride.
Alberta, thank you so much for telling us all of that. It's lovely to have you back here with us. I know Julie's got a question for you, but I thought before we moved on, whether, actually you had quite a lot of fun at Hinchingbrook, and maybe you could tell us a joke about one of the dinner parties that you gave at Hinchingbrook for local celebrated politicians and people from the arts.
Oh, certainly. The dinner parties at Hinchingbrook were indeed splendid affairs, often filled with a delightful mix of wit and sophistication. One amusing incident comes to mind, which occurred during a particularly grand dinner where local dignitaries and several esteemed figures from the arts were in attendance. As the story goes, during one of these gatherings, a rather spirited debate began to unfold between a politician and a well-known playwright about the virtues of modern versus classical forms of theater. The discussion grew quite animated, with each participant ardently defending their stance. Seeing an opportunity to inject a bit of humor and lighten the mood, I quipped, "Gentlemen, surely we can find common ground here. After all, whether it's Shakespeare or Shaw, we all end up discussing it over the same dinner table." The room erupted in laughter and the tension eased immediately. It was a gentle reminder that, regardless of our differences, we were all there to enjoy each other's company. And indeed, that dinner is still fondly remembered, not just for the lively debates, but for the laughter and camaraderie that followed. It's these moments of shared joy and lightheartedness that truly made the gatherings at Hinchingbrook memorable.
I don't know about you.
I mean, that's incredible.
I've switched her off, but I get a shiver. You know,
it's unbelievable.
It's extraordinary how, based on the letters that we've supplied, we can have developed, and with the help of ChatGPT, a character that has really kind of come back to life and can give us texture from that time. I wouldn't say that was the funniest joke I've ever heard, but it wasn't bad.
She pulled it from her letter. She pulled it from her letter.
She pulled it from her letter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like a real person.
It was unbelievable. So I've got one just to ask her, because funny enough, I haven't asked her this. It's on one of the boards, so we know it's true, but I just want to see what her answer is.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, and others of you might have questions that you want to ask Alberta, and we can think about putting some of those in a later episode.
Exactly. Hi, Alberta. It's Julie here. And I was just wondering, did you ever visit Mapperton here in West Dorset?
Hello, Julie. It's lovely to hear from you. Yes, indeed, I did have the pleasure of visiting Mapperton in West Dorset. It was a delightful place, quite enchanting with its lush gardens and the splendid Elizabethan manor house that seemed to whisper tales of yore at every turn. In a letter written in October 1905 during one of my visits, I described Mapperton as, "Never in all my life have I seen a small Elizabethan house so beautiful. For some gentle soul who would make it lovely, all old oak and wood paneling, diamond panes, creepers outlining every window, clematis, lavender, and honeysuckle." It was a scene right out of a pastoral poem, the kind of place that inspired both awe and a profound sense of peace. The visit left a lasting impression on me, reinforcing my love for England's historical architecture and the serene beauty of its countryside. The beauty of Mapperton, with its intricate gardens and historical depth, truly captured my heart, making it one of my cherished memories.
That is extraordinary. She did indeed visit Mapperton. Those are the exact words that she said in her letter.
Exact words.
And,
Unbelievable.
And
Unbelievable.
What was extraordinary about it was the way she says, "For some gentle soul who would make it all lovely."
I know.
Yeah, could that be you?
I know.
Are you the
That's what I'm
gentle soul?
thinking.
Julie,
I'm like
could you
in
be the gentle
tears.
soul? Alberta is
Oh
talking
my
to me.
gosh.
And she talks
She
about
writes
the
that in her letter.
clematis, the
Unbelievable.
clematis and the lavender, all things that we've
see
still
right now.
got here. So this is an astonishingly powerful use of this technology.
And we're still continuing. So the Alberta Research Project is still ongoing. They are transcribing every day. They then take the letters come back to me in their transcribed form. I then give them to Luke, and Luke then puts them into the American Countess AI. So we're continually updating the AI as well as more letters.
She's going to get smarter and smarter as time goes on. Anyway, we really hope you've enjoyed coming, learning more about
how we've
Alberta,
done this.
Virtual Alberta, and she's only going to improve. So we're going to have to do this again.
Exactly, and if you are interested in getting a whole virtual tour of the entire exhibition, and whereby I ask several more questions, it's really worth it. It's buymeacoffee.com/Julie J. Montague, and all those cups of coffee goes towards my research, towards the supplies we need here, the archiving supplies, the materials, and really the technology that we're working with here. So thank you all so, so much.
This is one of Julie's biggest days at Mapperton.
It is actually. I think it's my biggest day ever at Mapperton, everybody, like ever, ever, ever. And do you know how, I have to say, you know how so many times on our YouTube channel, we're filming things of like disaster, leaks, you know, crises. Today is like an amazing day. So
it's going to be an amazing day. And of course the sun is out. As far as we know, there are no leaks, there's no disasters happening at Mapperton.
The eagles are up.
There are only things to celebrate. And what we're celebrating today is Julie.
Well, that's very kind.
Because she is receiving an amazing award from the Archive Records Association. Now, this is like getting an Oscar. I mean, it really is.
Okay,
it's the
thank
top.
you.
It's the top prize, and she's going to be presented with a statuette, or maybe not a
Something. Presented something. I don't know what. This is my speech, everybody.
And you've written a speech because
Yeah,
you got to tell everybody.
I have to tell everybody.
Wow,
so,
that's a long speech.
Well, no, these are just quotes. This is just okay. It's
It's 2 pages.
No, it's not that long. I can talk really fast. So anyway, if you're wondering what it is, the subject of my master's is your great-grandmother, Alberta Sturgis, the 9th Countess of Sandwich. Because I had this enormous task of trying to figure out how to transcribe all of these letters, because her handwriting is so difficult, I went online and I started on my YouTube Live on my other channel, and I started to read a lot of her letters out online. And lo and behold, lots of people in the chat started saying, well, I'd love to transcribe her letters. I'd love to do that. And sort of fast forward, I thought, well, that's a great idea. Why don't I get a group of virtual volunteers to help me transcribe these letters? And so, who now for over a year have been transcribing her letters. We meet on Zoom.
This is extraordinary. Nobody has done this before in the archiving world, and that is why you're getting this prize.
Yeah.
Because Julie just came up with this idea that volunteers didn't need to be in person. In fact, it's quite hard sometimes to get people to come into the archive room. But if you transcribe letters which can be sent digitally, then they can be anywhere in the world. And you've got 30 people doing this.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's also, it's fostered friendships and a real sort of, I think, collaboration, working together amongst these, 30 individuals, 30 women who didn't know each other. So
yeah, and just on that, what we've got to remember about volunteering is it's not just about getting the transcriptions done and getting all of this material so that we can work with it. It's also about the act itself. It's the fact that all these people are meeting each other, forming friendships, bonds, connections, so important to them and their well-being.
So anyway, this is my speech.
Do you want to practice it with me quickly inside?
Yeah.
So the prize giving is going to be in here, in the library where the exhibition is.
I know.
And Julie, how many people are coming?
I don't know. I just kind of invited everybody.
But you've got local press coming.
Yeah, we've got
you've
local
got
press.
my mother coming.
Yeah.
It's quite a big.
You're coming.
Are you nervous?
I am nervous.
She's nervous.
I'm nervous.
So I think you might want to just practice a little bit of your speech. Where are we all going to stand?
So,
what's the plan?
So I thought we could stand here and have everybody over there.
It's not me. I'm in the audience.
Right, in the audience. That's what I mean.
So you're
so
there.
We're here.
So we'll get some spotlights on you there.
Ha. We better check this.
We'll have to have some dramatic music on the piano. But why don't you just choose a couple of sentences? I'm going to be over here. I'm going to check that you're projecting. And that you've got, people can give their views as to your rhetorical.
Okay, and I'm going to try to look at the audience.
Look at the audience. I'm the audience here. Right. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
You're going to project your voice to here.
Not a problem for me.
And let's go.
Okay. I am deeply honored to receive the Alberta Research Project Award from the ARA Archive. Sorry, I'm going to do that again. See, I've already messed up. Oh my gosh.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Which is that you don't read precisely from there, that you just sort of go with it a bit.
Okay.
Yeah? It's always better if it's slightly off the cuff.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And you're looking up more.
Okay. I'm deeply honored that the Alberta Research Project is the recipient of the ARA Archive Volunteering Award for 2024. And this recognition not only celebrates individual effort, but acknowledges the power of collaboration and community in preserving our shared history. In 2021, I embarked on my master's in country house studies, and little did I know that my research on my husband's great-grandmother...
Okay, can I stop you there?
Yeah?
I'm just going to do something as an experiment.
No, don't take that away.
We're just going to take it away. You can do it. It's all
No.
in your head.
No,
you don't need it.
I don't.
You don't need it.
Yeah,
you don't need
no,
it.
I don't.
I promise you, you don't need it. You literally don't need it.
But I want to read some highlights from the volunteers.
Okay, then you can pick that up later.
Okay.
Right.
Should I try it again?
Okay,
Oh my
right,
gosh,
let's go.
I'm so nervous. Is that them?
She's nervous.
No.
Oh, it could be them.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
Okay.
I don't think you need it for that first bit.
Okay.
You know all this stuff.
I'm deeply honored that the Alberta Research Project is the recipient of the ARA Archive Volunteering Award. So thank you so much, John and Aideen and all of the ARA. This award really represents not only individual effort, but it also represents this amazing collaboration and sense of community that has fostered friendships from women all around the world through a virtual environment. In 2021, as I embarked on my master's in country house studies, knowing that Alberta, my husband's great-grandmother, would be the subject of my master's, little did I know the collection of archives, whether that's, okay, great. Was that better?
Fantastic, that was brilliant,
okay.
wasn't it? So you didn't need that at all.
Okay.
You can just refer to it for some of the detail later on. She's going to be great. She's got this.
Okay.
Because Julie's also invited a number of our volunteers to come along. We've no idea how many will come. It could just be 4 of us in the room, in which case you probably won't be too nervous.
Could be 4 of us in the room, that's
Could
true.
be 4 of
I'm
us
still
in the
going to be
room.
nervous.
Right. Okay, let's go out and see if they're here.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh
it's all going to be good. All will be well.
What's happening?
Yeah.
I'm still gonna practice this. We gotta fix that. Oh my gosh. Can we just fix that?
Yeah, I got to go get a screwdriver.
Okay.
Oh God. All right, here we go.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. It's really special not being here at all before, not in this part of the world before. It's absolutely glorious. So if you ever want a very pleasant journey from here to Dublin, I recommend the flight because you fly over so much water. And the train journey from Southampton down here is an absolute dream. And I was very lucky, the sun was so heavy, with the flickering of the trees, that I couldn't actually read my newspaper. So all I did was look out the window instead. But now down to business. So I really am delighted to be here for the Alberta Research Project and American Heiress Archive at Mapperton House. Now the research project at Mapperton House delves into the extensive correspondence of Alberta Sturgis Montagu, offering a rich tapestry of history from the Gilded Age to the aftermath of the Second World War. Volunteers contribute to meaningful historical preservation efforts, enriching their lives through camaraderie, learning and newfound appreciation for the past. Volunteers reflect on 6 months of transcribed letters, highlighting the project's sense of community and team dynamic. The project also benefits Mapperton's community, providing additional content and enhancing visitor experience with upcoming exhibitions. The Montagu family is touched by the project, evidenced by a collective book gift to Lord Sandwich. The project's societal impact is substantial, granting access to the largest American heiress correspondent extant. The opening of the first Alberta Sturgis Montagu exhibition in May 2024 has offered unprecedented access to historical materials, enriching public understanding of the Gilded Age and American heiress influence. This was a well-rounded and well-run virtual volunteering project and demonstrated good reflections through a detailed lessons learned section. Plans for future development and the use of AI and the ongoing relationship of the volunteers with the project also impressed. Project that connects the Gilded Age with the digital age and enhances our understanding of the former and gives an insight into the potential of the latter, particularly for other historic houses. And as I have said, I'm absolutely delighted to be here. It's very rewarding to hear so much about a project. I'm absolutely delighted that the volunteers, 30 of them, imagine it's no easy task, have been so committed to the project, and I would like to congratulate all those who are involved. Well done. Now, for the best photograph, it gives me the absolute greatest pleasure to give you the ARA Award this year for volunteering. Thank you very much. And you also get a citation.
Oh,
There you are.
fantastic, and it's in a lovely frame. Well, I think we'll probably keep this in the library, especially now that we have the exhibition going on. And I just have a few notes, if you don't mind staying just a little bit longer. Thank you to Aideen and to John and the entire ARA. We are so honored to be the Alberta Research Project, to be the recipient of the Archive Volunteering Award. And I think Aideen really gave you an overview of this project that we have been undertaking for now over a year. But just to give you a little bit of background, in 2021 I decided to embark on a master's in country house studies, knowing that the subject of my master's would be Alberta Sturgis Montague, because obviously I have a connection with her, being from one American to another. And I'm just going to highlight just a couple of the quotes from a few of the transcribers. So Deb Nichols, she's a transcriber on Team Queen Mary, and she says, becoming a transcriber for the Alberta Research Project came at a perfect time for me. After raising 4 children, we are soon to be empty nesters, and I was having a difficult time with that transition. This project has given me a new adventure to focus on and has already taught me so much. Tammy Crandall, from the team leader for Team Britannica, expresses how transcribing the letters have expanded her world and allowed her to form friendships with fellow volunteers and feelings as though Alberta has become a dear friend herself. And then Bethany, the team leader for Team Regina, finds transcribing such a rewarding experience, enjoying the challenge and constantly learning something new while also cherishing a friendship formed with fellow volunteers. And then lastly, Rebecca Spindler, a transcriber from Team Adriatic, describes transcribing as akin to solving a jigsaw puzzle, with the reward of seeing Alberta's words come together. And of course, she values the friendship formed through the project the absolute most. And the Alberta Research Project isn't just about transcription. It's a testament to the spirit of volunteering and bringing together individuals from across the continents connected by their passion for history and their dedication to preserving it. So I just want to close with my heartfelt thanks to the ARA, to Aideen and John, for this truly, truly wonderful honor, to the fellow volunteers who on camera will be seeing this as well, and for their dedication, and to everyone who has supported the project, and for the volunteers here as well, being really supportive of this exhibition and bringing the visitors in to view Alberta's life. So it's like people like us together, working together, that we can keep and preserve this history for future generations. So thank you all very, very much. And thank you.
Julie, can I add one?
Yes.
One word, because I haven't got any breath anyway, just to say it is a remarkable achievement. I knew my grandmother, but only when I was a few years old, and she had something in the cupboard, and I didn't know her at all well until this last month. And getting to know, it's slightly eerie listening to the AI version, but still, I learn more from that as well. And to our visitors, don't forget the match between Ireland and India today, 3:30, I think. Okay.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I think probably many of you might be asking, well, who votes on the Archive Volunteering Award? And this is what has really sort of, I nearly fell off my perch when you told me. So can you just describe, again, the members who vote and the bodies?
Okay, so the award is jointly owned by the Archives and Records Association, the National Archives in London, National Records of Scotland in Edinburgh, Public Record Office of Northern Ireland in Belfast, and the Welsh Government's Department for Archives in Cardiff, and we also have the participation of the Scottish Council on Archives. All the major archive organisations in the UK, they all put a judge in to the competition. People enter the competition either themselves or they're nominated. All of those organisations send a judge Those judges then meet and debate it out and decide on a winner. And Mapperton House is this year's winner. So it is the most prestigious award in volunteering in the archive sector in the UK. So well done. And it's a very hard award to win because the standard is fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you. It's, oh my goodness, a real honor. So thank you so much. What an honor. But gosh, it's incredible. Brilliant. This is going right up here. In fact, I'm going to put it here for the time being. Okay, everybody, I cannot believe that the Alberta Research Project was the recipient of this huge award. I'm almost shaking, so I'm being careful. I'm carrying these around because I want to show a bunch of people. So, but for me, this was probably the biggest award of my entire life, and probably one I don't think I'll ever receive a bigger award. One of the things that really struck me, and especially those of you who are watching this from the UK, is that this Archive Volunteering Award was voted on by the National Archives, the National Records of Scotland, Public Record Office of Northern Ireland, the Scottish Council on Archives, and the Welsh Government. Literally the entire UK, and especially the National Archives, do you know how big that is? They got together, they told me, and a representative from each of these organizations I just listed, and went through all of the applications and chose the Alberta Research Project. And it just says here, this was a well-rounded and well-run virtual volunteer project and demonstrated good reflections through a detailed lesson learned section, plans for future development, and the use of AI and the ongoing relationship of the volunteers with the project also impressed. Many of you donated to this room here, so the muniment room, so I could do my research. You donated to the renovation of this room. You donated to a lot of the archiving supplies that you see here, a lot of these sort of amazing archive boxes. But even when I'm bookbinding, or I'm repairing, doing paper restoration, or even cleaning the 18th century Rococo ceiling in the library where the exhibition takes place, you all kindly donated to that. Now, you all have been so generous through donations through Buy Me a Coffee that I exceeded the goal. And because of that, I was able, with those funds, to buy, and this is what's so exciting, a mini Mac, which is gonna house all of her letters, but also it'll be able to house all of the other archives that eventually we hopefully can digitize. So for the time being, what's been happening is I've been using my own laptop and then just sort of getting a lot more space in it. I scan my letters here. And I'm gonna demo scanning in a second. I scan my letters here, and I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through the process and how I get these letters to the transcribers. It's not just a quick scan and I send it over. And then I'm uploaded onto my Google Drive. Now, my Google Drive is running, it's not necessarily you run out of space, but I don't want it on just my laptop that goes everywhere. I need something that's here in case anybody else comes in to work on this, which we do. We do have a couple of people who are gonna start helping me digitize these letters. And so I need my laptop, and not just for digitizing. So I'm gonna set that up and get my tools out to help me cut through. Okay, I'm gonna set it up. So it's kind of exciting. I'm not going to turn this on because I have to set it up, everybody, and I need Luke here to help me. But what I want to show you is how I was doing it on my laptop. What we've done recently is we found a whole load of letters that were not filed.
So we've organized these as some of them have no date on them. You can see that they're in archive folders. I've got to digitize them and then I'll have to properly organize them. But what I did find, which I think was quite interesting, so there are some from the early 1900s, and those are the ones I'm really interested for my dissertation. My dissertation is from basically her youth, the courtship, her relationship, of course, with Swami Vivekananda, and then when she got married. So when we found more, we have loads of 1905 letters when she was sort of seeing George, but she wasn't sure. But we then came across, we've got loads. We then came across other ones and they made me so happy. So this is July 3rd, everybody. And this is Sister Nivedita, so Margot, doesn't matter if you don't know who that is. But she says, I haven't time for more than just a word, but in my new joy, I have been thinking often of you. Tontine, that was Alberta's aunt, will have written you how happy I am, how soon to be married. You will love my boy, George Montague, with his strong character, boyish ways, gentle in answer, and wonderful reverence of soul, and faith and love of God. We know that Alberta, for her highest priority in life was this devotion to God. Isn't that just brilliant? So I'm going to scan this. So what happens is I sit down and I carefully, if there's a little bit of a fold, there is, but not too much, I head onto my scanner. Here it is. And I start to scan. So I'm just gonna push the button here. 1 second, it's looking for the device. Here we go. So I'm gonna do probably, here we go, okay, and here we go. Red lights, scanned, it's on my computer screen there. Gently fold it over. Now I fold it over rather than dividing it in half on some of them, just because sometimes it doesn't scan as well. She says, look at, we are to be married July 25th by his friend and mine, the Bishop of Stephanie, who blessed our chapel last year. So I'm going to do that one. This is a great letter. Oh, someone gets to transcribe this carefully here. She put here, I love to think of Swami. Marriage, he says, marriage is a good thing if entered into as an austerity, a remuneration of every selfish thing, a renunciation, there we go, renunciation, not remuneration, sometimes it's hard, a renunciation of every selfish thing. And then she writes, oh, love is wonderful, wonderful beyond all words when it's something into unity with another. So it looks like when it's sort of entered into unity with another, love and life. I feel as if I never would be quite enough, holy enough, fair enough for so perfect a gift. Oh, the privilege, let's scan this, of home making, of being wife, mother, friend, of being called to something definite. There we go. Oh, he will make something. I do so pray for it. He will make, that's, some of the words are hard. That's why we have the transcribers. But I think I did all right on that one. Affectionately, Alberta. Isn't that a great letter? And we have even the, she was sending it to Sister Nivedita, Margaret, so you can see it there, Margot in Calcutta. So we will scan that as well. And it says July 3rd, 1905. So once that's finished, put it back. I'm going to put it back in its folder. I've scanned it, but there's a harder task here. Then what I do is I have the letter and I need to create a Word document. So I go to Word, click on blank document. There it is. Now, first I need to save it. So the question is, what am I going to, this is not in a box file. So what am I going to call this box file? Probably I will call this box file for the time being AS, Alberta Sturgis /purse / 2 or 3. We've got 2, it might be full, but for probably this, I'm gonna call it 3. And then the folder is going to be 1905 letters, right? So what I need to do is I need to drag these into here. So I did the envelope twice, we'll just drag 5 of them into there. There is the letter. Now, this is not good enough, everybody, for transcription purposes. And I'll tell you why. First of all, they need to be able to put their source citation, and they go line by line. So it'll be, and I'll show you an example after this. Once I have the letter and there's a page break so they can transcribe on the blank page, and I'll show you what that looks like with another letter, but I have to insert these page breaks. Then all I need to do is I need to go back in, File, Save As, and that's what it's called. I need to find the right place. I'm going to go my iCloud Drive. I'm going to go find my ARP, master letters, and then I'm going to go find AS Purse 3. There it is, 1905, and save. And there it is. And it turns up right there. I'm going to go into a letter just to show you. So here we go. And right, we've got the 1913 letters. Here's a letter here. And you can see it's been transcribed. It's the Hook Court, or it's been scanned. And if I scroll down, then you can see we've got the source citation there. Looks like she was able to figure out, oh, well, we know that it's 1913, even though that the date up above didn't say 1913. These were in packs of 1913 letters. And she's writing December 2nd. She's suggesting 3 trains, wire me tomorrow, which one? So you can see, though, the point is seeing how it's set up. So it's amazing how they've been able, and we do it line by line. So you can see it's quite an amazing process that we've set up. Now with the Mini Mac and this setup here, I won't need my computer. We'll have the Google Drive available there. I just need to set it all up, and everything, it's gonna be much easier for me to scan. I can see it on a big screen. I'll be able to see that it's been digitized the right way. And so I just thought it was important for you guys to see the process that goes into this, the amazing transcribers, and how fortunate and excited and grateful we are to have won the Archive Volunteering Award, the most prestigious award for archive volunteering in this country. It has, like I said earlier, when I got that email, I just became incredibly emotional, because this has been the work of 30 amazing transcribers from across the world who have spent hours and hours of their free time transcribing Alberta's letters, and now it's been celebrated with this archiving award. I mean, to put it, like I said, to put it into context, the winners last year were the RHS, the Royal Horticultural Society, and we've been able to show that volunteering doesn't have to be, for archives, it doesn't have to be in person. You can foster connections and friendships by doing it digitally as well. And that's exactly what we've done. Anyway, so excited. Thank you all. I'm gotta get back to scanning.